If you're a new collector and you're just getting into it, and maybe that's why you found this video, then I would definitely pick up these, even though they are a bit more expensive. However, if you are a kind of a veteran collector of the Lightning Collection, then yeah, I mean, there are some things that you should know. And hello guys, Adam here from Not Toys Action Figures, bringing you another Lightning Collection Remastered video. And this time we're going to do something a little bit different. You can see we have all of the Remastered Collection, or the Remastered Lightning Collection here. We have all of the figures, and I thought, you know, maybe we should go through and talk about whether or not you should buy the remastered figures, because these figures are a bit more expensive. They are kind of like, they're in a weird space of like, they aren't deluxe figures, but they are Mighty Morphin figures, and there is a massive demand for Mighty Morphin figures all the time. The originals are really hard to get hold of, and the originals had some issues. So Hasbro is kind of like, well, we will put these new figures out and charge a little bit more for them, give you a little bit more for them. But, you know, should you buy them, and is it worth it? And I think, first off, like, there is some caveats to this. Obviously, if you are a new collector and you don't have any of the original ones, I would definitely go for these first, because they are accessible now. You can get hold of them. You were paying, so RRP, like recommended retail price for them, and even if the price is like double what the originals were, at least where I live, for me in Austria, they're I think 40 euros around there. You are paying double what they were back in 2020, 2021 when most of these figures released, but they're easy to get hold of. I mean, most of the pre-orders on Amazon Pulse EU are sold out for these two, but the other ones are easy to get hold of. There probably will be more prints of these coming up. And yeah, you don't have to go like looking through every kind of eBay listing. You don't have to go through every kind of independent comic book store that you know, hoping that these appear. That's how I got the original figures. And it was fun. It was definitely fun, but it is much easier to do this. And these figures are great. They do look great. They have nicer sculpts. They have nicer weapons. And yeah, they're easy to get hold of. So if you're a new collector and you're just getting into it, and maybe that's why you found this video, then I would definitely pick up these, even though they are a bit more expensive. However, if you are a kind of a veteran collector of the Lightning Collection, then yeah, I mean, there are some things that you should know. And I want to go through the figures themselves, my experience with them, of course. The issue that we have now is I feel like the QC of a lot of these figures has gone really far down with Hasbro, because they are in boxes without windows, so it's hard to maybe notice during shipping or during packaging that there are issues that have gone wrong, which has happened to me, unfortunately, and I'm sure will happen to a lot of people. So if we start off with the Blue Ranger, the main big issue here for me is his paint job. So if we talk about QA or QC, the Blue Ranger, yeah, for me, he had a lot of issues with paint. Like, you might not be able to see it too clearly, but on his mask here, there is a smudge. So basically, the silver has been smudged off. There's also black on the bit between the blue and the silver. So that's a little bit unfortunate, especially on the mask. You go down, you can see there's bits of paint missing from some of his white. You can see here, there's like a blotch of paint going down. This is an issue. Well, not really an issue, but there is a thing here with the belts. So you can see, like, there is some stuff that maybe if you're paying up to 40 euros or whatever the equivalent then is in dollars, you would think like these are more premium priced, so they should be more premium figures. And stuff like this is stuff that you might not expect, but it is Hasbro, it is the Lightning Collection, and it is these new figures in this new boxing, and these issues do happen. And it's not just me, you see them all over YouTube. You can see here that for some reason his butterfly is so loose that it goes really far back, and you have a massive black gap there. You might also notice the white casting of the plastic. So this is the plastic, it's not been painted on, but the white doesn't match the blue, and his white yeah, it doesn't stand out too much. Again, you can see here some issues with the paint, but they are different and they are noticeable. Maybe not so much on the camera, but they are noticeable. But yeah, everything else with him, his weapons were fine. I actually also got sent the wrong combinations of hands, so I think I got double, like, left-handed grasps or double fists or something, instead of actually getting the pair that I got. So yeah, so it's just little things like that where it seems like okay, they have added more accessories to the figures, but that means there is more room for mistakes, because in the old ones in the plastic box there was specific positions for specific items, and obviously it was harder to mess stuff up there. If we go to black, I would say black for me has been the best figure. Like everything about him feels good. The paint looks amazing on him. He came with all of the correct accessories. His joints feel really good. Even his belt, you can kind of see under here, the connection is good. There's a little bit of roughness here on the holster, but that obviously can be hidden when you put his blaster in, like so. And yeah, black is really good. His joints are nice and stiff. He looks great. Like I said in the video, I'm not sure. I still haven't, because I'm recording this straight after that video. I still haven't checked if these are the right way around, but I think they probably are. Let's go to yellow. Yellow also pretty good. Like she doesn't seem to have any major issues. Her paint looks good. Here I would say the butterfly joints match the white much better. Her belt looks good. The thing with the female characters is they feel like they're in like the early 2000s with the belts really way down. I guess they had to do this to kind of get out of the way of the crunch, and they are glued, so you can't move them around too much. There is a little bit of give and take, but yeah. And and I think in general it's great that the remastered females come with the new body with the pinless double jointed elbows and knees. Fantastic, gives them way more posability. I just reviewed Rita Repulsa. She has the old single jointed elbow, and it makes a massive difference having these double jointed ones, especially for Trini when you want to get stuff really close to her face with the daggers, or you want to do something really interesting. These double jointed elbows really help that out, which is fantastic. So I'm really happy with Trini. Let's see if she stands back up. Oh, she does, but she's leaning on Tommy. Kimberly also didn't have much issue with him. The only thing I don't like, and this is actually a general thing I don't like about the figures, is the hands. The hands are like so bad for like the grasping hands. The grasping hands are so bad for actually holding anything. It's just like nothing really fits comfortably in their hands. And especially this bow, like in the review I said the grasping hand for her bow is more like this instead of like this. So it's really hard to get it in, and it just falls out. Like you just touch it, it falls out, so it falls out really, really easily, which is frustrating because you obviously want to have her holding it. I think now they've kind of bent into position because I've had her holding the bow for a few days. But it's just a bit frustrating, and also the hand, like you can fit the arrow up in between the fingers, which is nice, but the bow, or on the hand, it would have been nice if there was like just a little ledge you could place the arrow on, just so that it could, it's just easier to pose, because that's why I've had a pose like this, as if you just fired the arrow, because getting the actual arrow onto the right position is quite frustrating. And I don't know if they did it so that you can see here, maybe you can't see there, but there's it also looks like there's like an arrow notch in her fingers there, but an actual grasping hand for this bow would have been great. And like I said, for a lot of the other figures, it's the same problem. You can't get them to hold onto the weapons really clearly or really, really nicely, as you would expect. But otherwise, again, Kimberly I got lucky with. There wasn't really any major issues with her. The head sculpt was nice. All of the accessories were correct. So she is a nice figure, and she stands up nicely, which is good. But she can't hold her bow. So the Red Ranger, Jason. Obviously, the thing you need to know is that the Red Ranger comes with the Dragon Shield. So if you want to have green with the Dragon Shield, you have to buy the red. I would say for most people, that's not really an issue. But for some people, it might be. Some people maybe only collect Green Rangers and really wanted the Dragon Shield, and now they've got a Red Ranger. Luckily, the Red Ranger in general is good. Like this new helmet makes a massive difference. It looks so much better than the original one. The original one was really squashed and kind of squared. This is way more circular. Like it feels like a person's head inside this one rather than what the other one was like. Also, the sculpt is really nice. I can't remember if there should be white on the inside of the teeth on the Tyrannosaurus helmet. But other than that, it's great. The only issue with mine is he has very wobbly hips and legs, which is a bit frustrating, because you obviously, if you have wobbly legs, it means it's hard to pose him because the legs just kind of open up. You can move them around a little bit and like kind of push them up and in. That tightens them a bit, but still, even doing that, they're completely wobbly. And yeah, which is another issue. I guess that's maybe just unlucky. I did buy 2 of these actually, so I'm hoping the other one is better, but the other one I'm going to just leave in the box, because I want a box one as well. But yeah, it's just like, again, another thing where you think if you're playing for a premium quality product, you would like stuff like this not to happen. Otherwise, yeah, like I said, he looks quite good. The paint on him looks good. He does have the issue here a bit stronger with the different colored white, and also on his elbows and knees. And it seems like it's only really Jason. You can see that the red on the elbows and the red on the knee joints is darker than the rest of him. So it kind of looks like he's wearing knee pads or elbow pads, which isn't like the worst thing in the world, to be honest. Like, if you're just looking from far away, if he's sat on your shelf, you're not going to notice a difference. But if you want to get really close up, you can tell that he does have some different colored elbows and knees, which is what it is, I suppose. I guess they just use a different type of plastic for those. Maybe that plastic is softer because they're joints, so it's easier to move them around. But that then just kind of messes a little bit with the shade. Then we have Tommy again. So a lot of people might not have realized, I was one of them until I started posting about Tommy on social media. This figure is actually based off of an episode which was fully produced in the US. So it didn't use any of the footage from the Japanese Sentai stuff. It's completely created in the US, and it's the episode where he has a candle. Rita makes a candle that slowly burns down, getting rid of his Green Ranger powers. And then he then eventually turns into the White Ranger, and Tommy then becomes a White Ranger. So there are some things on this which might seem inconsistent with the rest of them. One being the holder for the Dragon Dagger. So usually the Dragon Dagger holder comes down way lower, and so it's longer and it doesn't hang out at the bottom. This, though, because it was the American one, I think they just used a white regular holster for the blasters and painted it black. And that's also why they included blasters with him, because I think in the American made shows he did have the blasters. The other big thing that is missing, but maybe because of the American show, is that here again the white of the teeth isn't painted, which is something that I really was hoping for. Maybe this was on purpose, maybe it's just something that they couldn't do. But otherwise, Tommy looks great. And like I said, if you want the Dragon Shield, you have to buy the Red Ranger, which is something really strange, but Hasbro did it. Again, the Dragon Shield looks great on him. The armband look great on him. The gold here obviously is part of his paint or part of his sculpt. The Dragon Dagger looks great. That's been improved. The Tommy head looks really, really good. The candle is a nice thing to have as like a cool Easter egg, especially if you want to post it on your shelf as like the American Rangers versus the Super Sentai ones. It's a nice figure. He did, though, come with, so usually the accessories are the holstered blade blaster, the blaster version, and the bladed version. He came with 2 holstered ones and 1 blaster, which was a little bit of a shame. But yeah, I mean, for Tommy, I wouldn't really pose him with the blasters anyway. But another inconsistency in the QA, and another just thing where you think, okay, if this was if the box didn't have had windows, then maybe this was something that they wouldn't miss. And yeah, but yeah, like I think it kind of shows. So like the figures, it seems really down to luck whether or not you get good ones or bad ones. Like you can see in mine, I've had like okay ones to good ones. Like I said, I think Black is really good. Tommy is really good, which I'm really happy about because he's my favorite Ranger. The girls were good. Billy was, the paint looks really messy. And Jason, obviously you don't get the Jason head either. That's something I forgot to mention. and he has the different coloured elbows and knees, and his legs are really weak. But yeah, so maybe for €40 or $40 figures, maybe the quality isn't what you're expecting, but because they're quality figures, you get more accessories with them. So what accessories do you get? So I can show you here, basically with Zax. They come with a morphing effect, which goes around the bottom of them. Each figure comes with a slight variant of this with a different color. All of the figures except from the Red Ranger come with a head sculpt, and I have to say all of the head sculpts are fantastic, all of them. I really wish it added a Jason one. Like the original Jason one looks good, but I really wish they had added one. All of the head sculpts are really, really good. They always come with 2 sets of hands. One is the morphing hand. So sorry, I've only got one hand free. So this is the hand with the morpher. You put that on top. Then you hook the morpher onto this hand. They all come with one morpher, which again, they did a really good job with. All of the morphers I got look really good. You can really tell, you can see the coin in them. You can see the effect on them. Looks really nice. They come with another set of hands. It varies, but most of them get a set of fists. So they get like a set of grasping hands, a set of fists, and a set of morphing hands. And then finally, they come with 3 blade blasters. You get the blaster, the bladed one, and the holstered one. And Tommy he does come with extra stuff. He comes with the he comes with the hand to play the flute, which he's got on there. And he also comes with the candle. And I think that's kind of like an apology because you don't get the dragon shield. And yeah, like I said, the Red Ranger comes with the dragon shield and the 2 armbands. So the accessories, I think it's cool that they have additional accessories because of the price. But I think it would have been really cool if the accessories were more unique to the figure. So kind of like what they did with Tommy, like give you a unique item that goes with them. Because it's nice that you get the morphing effects. It's nice to have the morpher. Obviously, it's great to have the additional head. That's very Lightning Collection. But I think it just would have been a bit more of like the cherry on top if they'd given you some kind of unique item specifically for that character. Like kind of like what Super 7 does. Like Super 7, their figures are 10, at least in Europe, are €10 more expensive than these. But you get so many accessories. Like it's unreal how many accessories you get with it. Like for Tommy, for all of the Rangers, you get like the kind of weapons from the 90s flip head versions of the figures. You get with him, you get the Sword of Darkness, you got the Sword of Power, you got 2 additional heads, and with Trini, you got the Trini head, you got the Aisha head, you got the little gnome character that Trini that turns into a monster. You get the bouquet of flowers. You also get all of the stuff from the 90s flip heads. So for €10 more, you get a lot more accessories and a lot more unique accessories to that character. And I think just having one accessory would have been cool. Like if they're given Tommy the Sword of Power. You know, we have the Sword of Darkness already. If they're giving us the Sword of Power, that would have been cool. Just as like another little thing that you can mix in with your collection or mix in when you're when you're taking photos. That would have been awesome. But they didn't do that. And that's the thing with the Super 7. Like for €10 more, you get a bigger figure. You get way more accessories. The downside is that those figures, they look fantastic, but their posability and articulation is terrible. So that's the downside. But something like that would have been nice to be added to these figures. So yeah. So in conclusion, should you buy them? Like I said, if you are completely new to Lightning Collection and want to collect Mighty Morphin figures, absolutely buy them. Yes, they look really good. Like I said, it's a little bit of a gamble. If you get any with issues, you probably will get 1 or 2 that have slight little issues, which they are slight, but for a figure that is this expensive and so much more expensive than the originals, you wouldn't want these little issues to happen. If you are a solid collector, I don't know. I don't think, to be honest, I would have picked up black, blue, yellow, or pink. I mean, unless you really love Mighty Morphin, and that's kind of what I'm into it for. I would have picked up red just because of the new helmet. The new helmet looks fantastic. Also, the sword, the The details on the sword look great. And yeah, you get a dragon shield, which you can then put on any other figure. So if you want, if with your old OG Black Ranger, you wanted to give him the dragon shield, you could, or any of the other Rangers, because the dragon shield works on the girls. Then I would have picked up red only, and probably would have picked up green, just because for me personally, I love green, and also green looks really, really good, and it's kind of like the American version, so it's like a cool thing to have in your collection. But otherwise, yeah, I think the others I probably would have left, because I think the originals, the bodies on the originals feel a lot sturdier. They feel a lot like the quality of them feels higher than these figures, even though they now have the pinless joints. The quality feels way better on the old ones. Like, these feel like they have been sort of like efficiently made to cut costs, but still kind of do the job that they're meant to. And they do, of course, do the job that they're meant to, but they do feel cheaper. So yeah, so I wouldn't buy them if you already have them and you're not a massive Mighty Morphin fan. I would just probably, like I said, I would pick up Jason or the Red Ranger for the new helmet sculpt, and probably honestly have put the helmet on the old figure. For me, what I'm doing is I have these figures as my main morphed Rangers with the weapons. Then I have another stand with the old Rangers with all of the new heads on, because the heads do look fantastic. And they're kind of just standing there with the helmets under their arms. So I have two displays of these Rangers. So for me, I was happy to pick up the remastered ones because they do look great. But yeah, if you were going to buy them, like I said, if you're new, buy them. If you're not, think about if there's specific things you need for each figure, or maybe you are missing one or two of the figures. Obviously, then buy them because they're easier to get. But yeah, if you're happy with your old Mighty Morphin, I probably would leave these out. Maybe wait to see if some of them go on sale. I highly doubt they will, though. But yeah, I don't think they're an absolute must if you already have all of the old figures and you're happy with those. So yeah, guys, I hope that helps. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage of the Lightning Collection remastered figures over the last couple of weeks. It seems like you have, because they've all been getting lots of views, so thank you so much for checking them out. If you are new here, we do have reviews of the Black Ranger on the channel, the Green Ranger, the Red Ranger, and the Pink Ranger, sorry. So you can go and check those out. And yeah, if you enjoy, make sure you leave a like on this video. It helps new people find the channel and helps new people find this video. And also make sure you subscribe, because yeah, we have lots and lots of Lightning Collection content on the channel, and we have lots more coming up. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. Bye bye.